All right. One more time. This time we got it with sound. The sound's working. Microphone's working. Apparently, the microphone in my headset was blocking out the actual microphone on the computer and wasn't working. So we got sound now. And maybe somebody will actually show up and talk to me because there went a bug in the background. I got lights flying around in the background. Okay, we'll try this again. I'm really sorry for that first part. I didn't test it out. That microphone works on all the Zoom things and everything. I just assumed it was going to work for this, but apparently it didn't. So I'm sorry about that. But this microphone down here is working because I can see the little green dots moving that weren't moving before. So all that stuff I said for half hour earlier, I don't need to repeat, but we got sound this time, so hey, that's a better thing. And I do apologize. Hey, Soldier Poet, hadn't seen you in a while. I've caught a bunch of your live streams. I'm just testing out my live stream, and thought I'd do a Friday night here and see what's up. Glad to see you stop by. I was hoping some folks that I knew from other live streams would see that I was live and come on by and we could do some chatting. Been working through all this, and I kind of forget about there's lots of folks that still are locked down with the Rona stuff going around, and I was out of work first 6 weeks that it was around, but then I've been back to work full time since then, and it's kind of boggles the mind that places like California and stuff have still shut down mostly, and we've been not seeing it as much here, other than the restaurants and stuff are mostly takeout or low seating capacity. We haven't eaten out other than some pizza and stuff since all this is going on, but other than that. So what are you up to tonight? Anything special? I'm just like I said, testing out my live stream, and I streamed for about 20 minutes and found out my microphone was canceling. My headphone microphone was canceling out my other microphone. Is no good. I know businesses and stuff are just, I don't know how they're going to survive. Small businesses. I hate to say it, but we've been shopping mostly at Walmart using their pickup. We just order it online, and then I go after work and park, and they load my vehicle, and I drive home and we unload it. I've been inside, and I've seen your live streams a lot on Friday nights. I was getting running late tonight, and I didn't catch it. And I was actually streaming a game a little bit earlier. Hey, Mr. Davis, how are you this evening? Send out my live stream here. Yeah, we've been using Amazon. We've got Amazon Prime, and we use that a lot. And watch it on TV. Got the Prime Fire, so we don't watch regular TV hardly at all, and watch a whole series over the course of a few weeks, and that's about it. Oh no. Says I've got an unstable connection. Hopefully I'm not coming in and out. You guys still seeing me okay? Or there we go. My thing went away. Yeah, I like Prime a lot. I really like Star Trek, so they've got most of Star Trek's, all the old series on there. So I've watched so much Star Trek over the last excuse me. But and I watched what have I watched on there? I watched all kinds of crime series on there that I never knew existed. I watched a few from Australia and other places. I really like those, and I like the Prime series Bosch. I kind of like that. It's did their 5th season or 6th season. I've watched those. Don't care for the language too much, but I like just the storyline that they're following and everything. So I'm interested in this election that's coming up. It's I want to say worried, but I'm not really worried. It's just concerning that either way it goes, I think we're going to have trouble afterwards, and I hope people are preparing for that. It's either side you talk to, they think it's kind of crazy. I kind of like watching the old movies on there too. There's a couple of old ones that I've watched so many times that I don't watch them as much anymore. But then there were none. I like that one. It's a kind of a whodunit, old black and white. And I saw Arsenic and Old Lace was on there not very long ago, and with Cary Grant. And that one's kind of funny. I like that one. And, I like Humphrey Bogart movies. African Queen, I watched that one a couple times. I wish I haven't seen Casablanca on there. I had never watched Casablanca until about 10 years ago. And I can't believe how I just love that movie. I can't believe how great it is compared to what I ever thought it was going to be. But yeah, lots of folks have been reloading ammo, stocking up as much as they can. I think I'm good myself. I got more than I could ever shoot, so I haven't been worrying about that for quite some time. But I am set up to reload if I need to. And I have never seen Gone with the Wind. I will admit that. I have never seen Gone with the Wind. And I'm really disappointed that there aren't more John Wayne movies on there. They got a couple of the really old ones and a couple that kind of move through every once in a while, and I'll watch them when I get a chance. But you can only watch the Sands of Iwo Jima so many times, and you're going, okay, it's not as good as it used to be the first 50 times. I really want to see Outlaw Josie Wales. I haven't seen that since we got rid of our VHS player because I don't have it on DVD. And we got rid of all our VHS tapes a couple of years ago at a yard sale, and I haven't seen Outlaw Josie Wales since then. And that's one of my favorite all-time movies. I tell you every line before they say it on there it's great. Yeah, that's Josie Wales got to be about about my close to my favorite movie ever. It's just there's just so much great, so many good lines in that movie. Oh, the Cowboys. Cowboys is one of my favorites too. I hate Bruce Dern with a passion because of that movie. That's one of the just the couple movies that John Wayne died in. Yeah, well, John Wayne ain't going to be canceled in my culture. I can tell you that. They're renaming his airport or something like that. I think, but you can't. You can't. They can't cancel him. You can't. You just can't do it. They can try, but it's like they live in a different world. You know, it's. I don't know. I grew up. I got I got a. I know soldier. I know you're Christian. When I was preaching, I got a sermon that I called the John Wayne sermon, and it's about not to get into it, but it is about in James where it talks about seeing the man in the mirror and forgetting what he looks like. But I, one of the things that I say uh, in the sermon leading up to that is that I wanted to be John Wayne growing up. It's I think probably half the boys in the United States growing up in my era wanted to be John Wayne. It's you just can't get rid of him, at least right now. Another couple generations, and they'll go, "Who? John who?" But it just made sense. A lot of the stuff in his movies just made sense. That's how you did things. I like El Dorado. I like Hondo. Uh, I like most of his war movies. But Rio Bravo, that's a good one. Dean Martin. Didn't really like Rio Lobo. The acting in that is just pretty horrible from from lots of other people. There were a couple of really cheesy acted movies that he was in. I really liked The Shootist. Yeah, that was a really good movie. One of his, that was I think that was his last movie, um, and he made it about dying, and that was one of the better acted of his later movies because they kind of got there in the early '70s where they were just kind of pumping them out. Didn't care, John Wayne's going to make us some money. But old Ron Howard and Jimmy Stewart. That was a pretty good flick. You guys getting food put up? Did you get a garden and get some stuff out of your gardens this fall? I've been seeing lots of posts on Facebook and the survival groups about folks, canning and putting everything up. Yeah, Walter, I was thinking about that. I do some writing and stuff, and I keep thinking about. I wish Clint Eastwood, just mentioned John Wayne did the Shootist, as kind of a swan song kind of thing, as wrap up his career. I wish Clint Eastwood would do something. Wouldn't it be awesome to have like a Clint Eastwood, a Tom Selleck, Kevin Costner, Sam Elliott, um, who else makes a good cowboy that's been in a couple of old westerns that's still around, and just make a real classic, western movie to kind of end up his career. I mean, he kind of did that with Unforgiven, but then here it is almost 20 years later. Oh, you guys are in town. Oh, both of you. I live on a farm, so, but with my health, they think I have fibromyalgia, which makes it, I'm really numb. I'm numb, and I get tired real easy, and I have poor balance and stuff. And so our garden this year is basically nothing. We didn't do anything, and we had, my wife planted a little bit of stuff, and bugs got most of it, and I didn't do anything in the garden. This was not a good year for producing food for us, but we've still been stocking up on canned goods and stuff, just because they were talking about it earlier with the Rona. They were talking about it being a shortage, and I think we've noticed, ordering from Walmart that they have, they're not stuff's not in stock. When you order it, my wife's, I mentioned earlier, we've been ordering, and I just go pick it up, and they load it, and they've a lot of the stuff we normally get is not in stock anymore, and so we've been having to do substitutions and stuff. So I'm kind of wondering what's really available, and if stuff is short or not. I don't know. Yeah, see, I'm kind of the opposite. I grew up not on a farm, and my grandparents had the farm, and this is the family farm. I'm like fifth or sixth generation, but my dad moved off the farm, and I didn't grow up on the farm. But when my grandparents went, and they were able to buy a portion of it, so we ended up with 30 acres of the original homestead. So we got the old house that my great grandpa built. You can sit I'm sitting in an addition that got built a little over 100 years ago, and yeah, it's funny, it's got over 100 years ago, but yeah, they've been talking about there's can shortage. I don't know if we get the cans from China or what, but I don't know if that's why they're short, but they were talking about, not having enough cans to produce the food and everything. I mean, we're not going to starve, because I mean, the neighbors are they just took the corn off our place. So the neighbors got bins and bins and bins of thousands of bushels of corn, sitting less than a mile away, that they rent our place. And they took soybeans off a week or two ago, and they took corn off, I think yesterday they finished it up. And so I'm going to go out and with a bucket and walk the field and pick up a bunch of ears that they miss, and give it to the chickens, or toss a bunch of them over on the edge for the deer, and hopefully I'll get a deer come hunting season here. Yeah. Yep, it's going to be an interesting winter. And I don't know if that Chinese proverb is accurate right now. May you live in interesting times. It's kind of a curse. And it's going to be an interesting winter. And people are talking about dark winter or something like that. I don't know if they're talking about the Rona, or if they're what they're talking about. I haven't really gotten into watching any videos on that yet, but just hope we're all ready for whatever happens here. I think it's going to be a downhill slide, starting with the election, pretty much no matter who wins. So, yeah, I don't know about this election thing. I was very confident in who was going to win a month or two ago, but then it's kind of changed. But then the last election, I went to bed expecting to have Hillary Clinton president when I woke up in the morning, and it surprised the heck out of me in the morning. Now that fishing, that'd be great. I don't fish where I live. There's so much industry and stuff that the water's kind of polluted, and they say not to eat the fish here. Whereas I grew up in Colorado, fishing and eating the fish and stuff like that. And so we moved here 18 years ago, and it's like I don't fish anymore because they recommend not eating it. So it's like you can fish farm ponds and stuff and eat them, but I haven't really done that. Yeah, I went to bed. I'm old and tired, and went to bed early enough that I didn't see where the elector votes were going by the time I went to bed. So I didn't have a clue when I went to bed till I got up the next morning. It'll probably be well, unless it's a complete landslide one way or the other, it'll probably be the same way this year. I'll go vote in the morning and go to bed, and yeah, weeknights. This is way past my bedtime on weeknights. Yeah, my kids think I'm getting old. Yeah, I was too nervous to watch it. I was so upset the 2 elections before that, and I was like, I just don't even want to watch. I'll leave in God's hands and deal with what He gives me the next morning. Yep, I agree. God's will be done. I'm, I keep wanting to say it concerns me, but it doesn't. I trust God that. I'm not convinced that the United States is in end times scripture, and so that kind of means that when it's talking about all the world being against Israel, either we have to have a fundamental change in how our country is run, or our country won't be here. And that's kind of what I'm prepping to be able to help people when during that transition. Yeah, and with those numbers, it's Biden and Trump are kind of doing the same thing as what you just said. It's not near as many people are hitting Biden rallies. But I had a doctor's appointment in a city about a month ago, and where I live now. Where I live, it's like 10-1 Trump signs to Biden signs, and I went down to that city. It was like 100-1 Biden signs to Trump signs. It was really eye opening. I didn't realize how liberal that part of the city was, and it really it was surprising. Let's just put it that way. But it was a city, and it was close to a college campus where we had to go for the doctor's appointments. So it was, I guess, when you think about it logically, it was to be expected that there would be that many Biden signs there. But I'm in Northwest Ohio. I went down to Columbus. I was at OSU campus, Ohio State University campus. Right in that area, there's medical. They have Ohio State University Medical Center is there, and that's where I had an appointment about a month ago. working on whatever's wrong with me. Yeah, higher education. I used to work at a college in Colorado that was specializing. They really pushed that they were for turning out teachers, education program. And it was so liberal. I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, if this is the people that are going to be the teachers in the next 20 years, it's like we're doomed. Is I can't believe what they put in their heads. Yeah, that's one thing I have noticed is that the Trump signs are huge, whereas the Biden signs are little yard signs. But actually, the only real handmade signs I have seen is there's out in the country where it's all 99% Trump signs. There's two houses live next door. I assume they're relatives that have huge handmade Biden signs. They had them as soon as they announced. They had them out there. They were painted and like 4x8 sheets of plywood, and then now they got a big Biden flag hanging off the side of their house and all that. I've seen on the Facebook trading post somebody is getting baseball hats and like painting. It looks like they've taken a paintbrush and white paint and written Biden on the front, and they're trying to sell them for like $20. It's kind of funny. There's a yeah, Alabama. I would think that that's pretty Trump country. And I lived between two medium cities, and one extremely conservative and capitalistic. There's corporate headquarters and stuff there. The other one, very liberal, and just the difference is crazy on how those two cities are run. And they're about 40 miles apart, and I kind of live right in the middle of them. I'm afraid to. Where I work in the city is the small city is not the best neighborhood, so I've been avoiding putting stickers on my car. We had a BLM protest, back when they were doing the marches, back when it was first, when they were first burning stuff down, and there were people coming into our shop from the BLM that were, getting stuff done, and they were nice people. They were nice to us, respectful, no attitudes or anything, and just we need the stuff. I work in a print shop, and we need this stuff done, and we did it for them, and they were real nice. And it was like, I can't believe you guys are out there. I didn't tell them this, but it's like you guys are out there telling everybody you hate me. But here you are being really nice to me, and I'm nice to you, and we're respectful, and we're doing transacting business. But you you would want me dead, but the guys I've dealt with personally have been very nice. But they marched past our shop. They did 3 days of marches. The first day there was about 150 of them, which really surprised me, because I work in the conservative city. And the second day there was about 50, and the third day there was about 50. And then after that there was like one. And they didn't march. They just stood in front of the courthouse with their flags. But Yeah, like I said, where I park is not the best part of town. I don't want. I want to be able to drive my vehicle home when I get off work. My brother-in-law's got mounted the big flags. You know, he's got big pickup. He's out in Colorado, and they're going to go solid. I mean, not him, but that state I think is going to go solid for Biden. But it's really divided. It's kind of like our country, though. I mean, there's parts of it that are extremely Trump, and there's parts that are extremely Biden or liberal. And yeah, if shooting war was to start out, I would think it'd be in Colorado. It would start because they're so divided out there. And but he mounted a couple of brackets and stuff. He's got the big Trump flag and a regular flag on his truck that he drives around. So he gets to tell everybody who he's voting for. And my wife already voted. She did the mail-in vote, and I'm going to do voting in person. Yeah, my boss won't let me do anything because he's worried it'll chase business away from us. So we don't. Yeah, Denver and Boulder is about the most liberal place you can get, and where I grew up is just about as liberal as Boulder was. Even it's on the western slope, but it's still pretty liberal over there, and just the liberals are in power over there, and they seem to gravitate to that spot. Yeah. But yeah, Colorado Springs is pretty conservative with the Army base there, Fort Carson, and then Peterson Air Force Base is there, and NORAD. So they're got a heavy military presence there, so they tend to be more conservative. Denver, Boulder, like I said, Fort Collins, very liberal. And Western Slope is almost completely different state, and Eastern Plains is almost completely different state. It's pretty divided there. But it's going to be interesting. I can't wait. I got to start shooting some more videos. I haven't put up a video since the church came and helped. They put siding on my house as a community service project, and we paid for the siding. And they had 30 or 40 volunteers come and put siding on our big old farmhouse. So. I don't remember about that song. Don't remember. Yeah, I would have to look that one up to see. I worked in Denver a little bit in print shop up there. I worked for that college down in Gunnison is where I'm from. It's like 200 miles southwest of Denver, and got laid off at that college. They shut our printing department down, so I went to Denver for a short time and worked up there. And Denver's it's not all conservative and all liberal. I mean, it's pretty well split because there are rich parts and it's like any other city. There's conservative parts and liberal parts and everything. But Boulder leans hard left, pretty much totally. So, and that's been leaking down into Denver. It's just getting lefter and lefter up there, and with the governors, that last couple governors that they've elected, it's crazy. I actually, when I was younger, they had Governor Roy Romer. He was a rancher, and I actually voted for him. He was a Democrat. I voted for him just because he was a rancher. He seemed to care about the state, cared about ranching, cared about what was going on. He was not a hard left liberal Democrat, so I voted for him at least once. I can't remember if I voted for him twice or not. And but those last couple they had, they're just with all the gun stuff and the Columbine stuff, the repercussions after Columbine, that was just horrible. They rammed through a whole bunch of laws that made no sense and just made people angry, and it just was a mess. It still is a mess. Well, and see, that's part of the problem is that so many people have moved in to Colorado from California. It's they say don't Californicate my state. Well, that's what happened to Colorado. Yeah, the Democratic Party has changed considerably, but and it's I'm not gonna be down on Democrats. It's the leftists that are the problem. It's even liberals. In some ways, liberals. It's fine. You have the right to do that, but a leftist that wants to bring our country to these Marxist values is where the problem is. The leftists are dragging our country in the wrong direction, I think. We've always had the balance of liberals and conservatives, and the neocons didn't do us and any favors, the last 20, 30 years. The guys that claimed to be conservative but weren't really, they didn't do us any favors. And then now we got somebody in there to drain the swamp. It just needs to poke a bigger hole in it so it drains faster. Yeah, I don't think the current Democratic Party knows where they are. They'd made a huge run to the left these last couple of years. It's just let's see how far left we can go and get away with it. It's crazy. If they get elected, it's like sayonara. It's going to be interesting times. May we live in interesting times. I know JFK would make a good Republican, but even then, I don't agree with all the Republican stuff. I'm conservative. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I even don't feel good saying I'm a Republican, considering how some of the neocons treated the Republican Party and the Never Trumpers. I mean, it's like it is horrible how some of those guys are acting and have acted, and it's like, okay, I'm conservative. Let's just put it that way. 'Cause that's what I'll vote. I'll vote conservative. But we're getting close. A little over a week. I saw Trump will be by me here tomorrow, but I'm not going to go. I got a message to make my reservation to go see him. But, got that email today. Yeah, for a couple of years I was Constitution Party, but they were gaining traction there for a little bit, but they seem to have lost it in the last couple of years. They haven't. I haven't even gotten any emails from them for. I bet it's been at least a year, maybe 2 years since I've gotten an email from the Constitution Party, and I used to get them, every week or so. So I don't know what happened to that. But yeah, I tried to put that on my when I registered to vote, and I did it in when I was in Colorado. I wrote down Constitution Party, and when I was here, I wrote down Constitution Party. Both places marked me as independent. So I don't get to vote in primaries or anything like that. Unless, they don't have open primaries here, so I don't get to vote in primaries. But we're closing in on midnight. I think I'm gonna shut this down about midnight because it's bedtime. I'm getting a little old. Don't stay up as late as I used to. Yeah, we were at a flea market a couple of years ago. This is funny. Guy was there, and I stopped and talked to him, and they're giving away candy, and I've got this joke that, like, apparently people don't get it for some reason, but they were giving away dum-dums, the little suckers, and I says, well, you can give those dum-dums to all the liberals, but the conservatives, you got to give Smarties, the little roll of sour Smarties. And he just looked at me and goes, well, I got some Kit Kats back here. We could give those away. I'm like, no, it's no good if I have to explain to you. So, I don't know why people don't get that, dum-dums are for dumb people and Smarties are for smart people, but it's no fun it's not funny when you have to explain it. I used to work with a person that every time, every once in a while, somebody give us candy or something, and we got dum-dums, I'd say, oh, this one's for you. Hey, have a good night, Soldier Poet. Yeah, I'm a couple more minutes, and I need to hand out dum-dums to those people, Because I really do like Smarties. I always steal my kids' Halloween candy with Smarties, and good thing they didn't like them that much. So that's just because I'm that smart. I take the Smarties. But yeah, I think I'm going to shut her down. Really want to thank you guys for coming by, and I had a couple. I've been watching the feed, and it's three or four, and obviously a couple people have been here and haven't said anything. But I really want to thank you guys for chatting with me, and I may do this. Who knows how often I'm going to do this? It's not going to be a regular thing yet, but I want to get the Prepared Christian going a little more than what I have been. It was on a roller with videos, and I figure if I can add some live stream to it, that'd be great. And we can get some information out there, maybe share the gospel, and just help some folks out. So thanks for coming by. Vaya con Dios. Have a great night.